days are coming. Come on. Clap your hands.
Days are coming, it must be good. Better days are coming, it must be good. This time of your season has come to an end. The course you've been waiting for soon will be there. It must be safe. It must be safe. It must be safe.
I can just shout, Lord, please have mercy on me.
And civilian affairs got an image to maintain, public upper hand, but behind them closed doors you're gonna last leg. The fast lane's the fast pace for the fast age. It's easy not to complain.
More than when nerves you are troubles come and they go it with don't be ashamed, don't hesitate to call me. I'm waiting on you. Want to pull me through. I'm waiting on you.
Well, hello. Where's my audio? Oh, it's here.
Hey,
everyone.
You will not know what we've been through going behind the scenes in the last 15 minutes. So hopefully you guys are tuning in and watching us. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Darnell.
And I'm Angela.
And welcome to Garrison House. Yeah, we had we're hoping that everybody's seeing us smoothly because I'm seeing all kind of little status errors coming across the screen here. And
yes.
So I'm actually seeing us pausing and all this stuff. So more likely we're going to keep the show going. We're going to deal with these internet issues. It's like, hey, Comcast, fix the internet, people. We had the problem with our podcast on Friday with Comcast. No offense, Comcast, but this is pretty bad. So I'm going to have to go and reroute us to AT&T in a minute and just let that run the show. So, we have some topics here. Well, first of all, let me. The funny part about it is I can't. They're all this set up. I sort of lost our program. So I cannot find our. We
did set everything up, but again, when you go live, you never know what's going to happen.
It's just like I can't. Oh, that's not working. So
what I would like to say, if she's on, I'd like to say thank you, Dr. Evelyn. Welcome to Garrison House Podcast. I'm gonna do a shout out. She called me personally and said she was going to try to get on. So hello, thank you for joining us, Dr. Evelyn. If you are on, or if you're watching,
however you're watching us, we're watching this later. Yes.
Thank you for everybody joining in.
Everybody for joining in, because it's a 90% chance that we're going to be reposting this, but it's all good. We're going to keep going.
Hey, was it my birthday the last time, right?
Yeah, it was your birthday.
Thank you, everyone, for coming on, celebrate my birthday, all the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. Again, GarrisonHousePodcast.com. Go over there on our platforms and just like and subscribe. That's all it takes. It's free, even if you're not going to watch it. I'm just kidding. Hopefully you still watch it through. But however, just go ahead and like and subscribe on our platform.
Yes, please do. Please do that. And that's my system here is giving me some wrong numbers. That's one thing about having a lot of computers going in your house. You're trying to figure out what's going on, who's doing what's going on here and there. So I finally got our thing back up on the screen.
Hey, live is live. What you gonna do?
Live. So we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, we are. So our studio is. If you saw my previous reel that my husband was just setting everything up, as you said, we were setting things up. We are almost done. Our contractor is finishing up on the flooring, and then we'll just have to do some painting, and hopefully we'll be doing our re-reveal or a grand opening, re-reveal, something. I don't know how.
Something like that.
Right. So we're going to have that in order to do it. And also on our next podcast, which is the third Sunday, It's somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
And so we are going to be out, but however, we are going to be out of town, but however, we are going to still be live on that Sunday. So just tune in and we're going to have a birthday celebration again on Garrison's podcast. It was my birthday on the last one, and it's going to be his birthday on the next one.
Yes. And she asked me where I wanted to go for my birthday. And of course, I can't tell you.
You got to come back on.
We were going to have a hit on the set, but I forgot to bring it up.
You got to come back next week. Well,
the next episode,
and we see
exactly where we went. And it's going to be a treat. It's going to be a treat. Some people know where we're going, but y'all keep that a secret. Those who know where we're going, you don't need to share where we're going because y'all know where we're going. I've told a few people where I'm heading for my birthday, and it's Father's Day weekend too.
Right.
So
now, if you are watching us now and you didn't open up the thing, just open up and say hi. Appreciate it.
Yes, please do. And if you're please deal with our apologies again for the little strangeness happening on our feed today. However, it's technology and it is what it is. I'm just going through our feeds now, making sure everything is looking good. I'm pretty much the controller of the feeds. And apparently, looks like our Facebook side has done something. Oh, it's still up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. On the Garrison House podcast. So we want you to subscribe.
Yes.
Like.
We're trying to get everything on the one platform. I know everybody follows my husband, which is fine. You can do it. However, we're trying to get everybody on the Garrison House podcast live side. So that way, it'll be easier instead of going through so many different channels and sharing on my platforms.
Yes.
I'll share it afterwards. So whoever,
And we don't have to go through the issues of what we're having right now where things aren't starting, things aren't doing what it's supposed to do. We're also on YouTube.
Yes.
And we're doing pretty well on there. Again, like I said, I'm watching us right now, making sure everything is playing.
Yes.
And everything looks good. We're going to keep going. I'm not going to worry about what's happening here because unlike our first few, I'm actually recording. So we will be able to repost it because it's been a couple times in the early days where I forgot to record.
Yes. And again, I would like to thank everybody for the well wishes.
Yes. And we like to thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's get this party started. We're going to start our first topic.
Hot topics.
And our first topic is
the
verdict.
Yes. Oh, you guys. This political year is going to be a doozy. I never, I've been 18.
She's been 18 for a while. So
I've been voting since I was 8, when it started 18. So that's years, a while ago.
last year.
This is something. I mean, this is the first political year that it's going to be a doozy. It's a, what do you call it? A rematch?
Well, yeah.
Hopefully.
We don't know.
Hopefully. Yeah, it's as you know, Biden is supposed to be not confessing, but Biden is supposed to give his announcement of re-election, and then Trump is supposed to give his announcement of re-election.
Technically, he's a re-election too.
So, well, yeah, technically not re-election, right? Well, he's throwing his hat in the ring. Let's put it that way, as the Republican. So, but again,
Kennedy. Can't forget about Kennedy.
Well, I'm just saying between the Republicans and Democrats.
Kennedy.
I mean, I don't know, but come on, that's we're just talking about the duel, the rematch. So that's what I'm talking about. But anyway, so this year is going to be interesting to watch from now until November, and it's actually going by. Excuse me, guys. My hair is in my face. It's going by really fast. So November is really around the corner. And basically what we're not going to discuss the whole trial. That's not what we're here for. And please be kindful in the comments because we're not here trying to bash anybody we're not picking sides. We're just talking about the trial, the verdict itself. And the fact is, has that by him being found guilty, would that add more votes to him or would it have taken away votes?
We'll let the people answer that because I know from what I'm reading from people, a lot of people still have his back.
Right.
A lot of people are like, there's some people say, well, this has been going on for years for the people of color. So you have that faction. People say, well, people of color, we've been accused of stuff for the longest. So welcome to the club. So
right.
I think to me, some people I talk to who are on the conservative side, they still got his back. The people on the other side, they loving it, they laughing, they celebrating. I would tell people, don't celebrate anyone's downfall. That's not cool. I mean, I know everybody's thinking this is a challenge, but it's some things in life you should not celebrate because what if somebody in your family goes through something and people celebrate their downfall? How would you feel? So my thing is, I didn't celebrate it either way because in my book is like, that's not something anybody wants to go through. So you may think it's funny and cool, but it's not something you want to do. You don't want to sit there and go through that.
I think what it is that I believe if whoever was going to vote for Trump was going to vote for him, whoever was going to vote for Biden was going to vote for him.
Right.
This verdict probably really wouldn't have changed a person's whoever was going to vote for Trump back over to Biden. I don't think that verdict would have changed because it is what it was. The only thing I was thinking is, would this have added more votes to either Biden or who was on the fence? No, I don't think anybody really would have been on the fence really at this point, because everybody knew because he was president for 4 years, and then Biden was president for 4 years, so we all kind of know his platform. So, I think at this point, people were going to vote. They were going to vote for whoever they're going to vote for at this point anyway. But I don't think it's going to. So this point is, is this going to take votes away from Biden and put it into the Trump camp,
or vice versa?
Which I mean, I think people who is going to vote is going to vote for anyway. No matter at this point in time.
Until 5 months.
I always told Darnell, I said, we have all these network news shows. Depending on your narrative and depending on your side, you go hear different point of views. And usually there's no people is going to put their own narrative on these network platforms. So if you wanted to know, if you were pro somebody, you'll go to this network. If you were against somebody, you would go to this network. Because you're going to find somebody's going to say something, on this, say something. So, but however, seek wisdom when you vote.
Yes.
Just don't vote party plan.
No.
So seek wisdom when you vote. If you're a Christian, seek God. If you're not,
and that's actually
just make sure you go with the right politician.
Whoever God leads you. I know there's some people who are looking at it from a Christian perspective. They've already made their decision. And it's no matter what their race, I know one person, they made their decision and they're sticking with their decision. And that's fine. And don't judge a person for their decision. Don't judge somebody because they're supporting somebody you don't like. I've never seen such hate towards a person in my life. I've seen people, I may not agree with the politician, but like I said in the past, I don't hate anybody, and I just can't. To me, I can't understand the level of hate we have in the world. It's not just here; it's in the world.
I mean,
people hating people for supporting Israel. People hating people for supporting Gaza. They're hating people for supporting Trump. Hating people for supporting Biden. I mean, come on, how nasty it is. They got the F word for Biden. I'm like, okay, you may not agree with the person. Now they're doing the F word for Trump. It's like, I may not agree with you, but what about the young people seeing this? As adults, we're supposed to be adults. Right. Apparently, we forgot how to be adults. We're not acting like adults at all. We're acting like children. We're going over things like stuff that we should not be fussing about. And it's not really being an adult-like behavior. So in my opinion, just to start acting like adults, some of the stuff that we're seeing out in public, this is stuff that should be just, at the bar, at the golf course, wherever you. We really don't need to have this stuff out here where children are seeing this. Social
media was good until election, and and people are going to sit there and put their narrative in. You got your bots, you got everything. So, but if you focus, some people are focusing on one thing, one party against the other. They're focusing when it comes to the abortion. They're focusing on healthcare. So people are focusing on those two things. I don't know if the war is going on, they're focusing on that, but most of the two things I think they're really focusing on right now is abortion and healthcare. So, but again, sometimes it's not even nowadays, this last thing is not even about those two anyway. Nobody's not really going with the what do you call it? The platforms or their
platforms.
Right. They're just going for
they're just going whatever tickling our ears.
Right. They're just going for Trump or they're just going for Biden. It's no longer what their platform they're offering. And so they're trying to move everything to that, but now it's more just about, well, I'm gonna vote for Trump, I'm gonna vote for Biden because we don't like Trump, so I'm gonna vote for Biden.
Right.
I don't like Biden, so we're gonna vote for Trump. It's no longer
the other one is I don't like either one of them, so I'm voting for Kennedy. I mean, hey, that's your choice.
Right.
Kennedy, you got three people. Let's just be real. We got three people running. And remember, those of us who are old enough remember Clinton, Bush, and Ross Perot.
Right.
We're most of us who are old enough remember that challenge. We're just having a repeat. I think that was 92. I think it was 92. Or 96, 92. Yeah, because it was 92, it had to be 92. And nobody thought that Clinton would become the president. Well, you figure, actually, it was 92. We were old enough to vote. So whatever it was, I thought Clinton was the cool president. Hey, so that's how it was. But anyway, let's move off from the verdict and let's go. Do we want to roll the clip first?
Well, let's go into the topic we're going to discuss.
Okay, we're going to do that. Let's do that. Let's pull that up on the screen. Again, you got our apologies today. It's one of those days where things are moving fast.
Oh, I didn't even mean It's just
Saying all the M's. Hey, I do.
You got a Okay, whatever. Things that make you go
Oh, you want it? Ew.
That's okay. That's fine. Now,
It's nothing hard. It's like it's just a matter of just hitting a button here and
there we go.
There you go. It's not much. Just delete.
So we were on. So that's just switch over to back into social. We were on social again. Our X-Files, and he saw a thing on Facebook, and let's take a look.
Let's react to this. So let's go ahead here. All right, here we go.
You're probably not finding love because you're the problem, and God is protecting other people from you.
All right. Now, there's a lot to unpack there.
Let's run it one more time so people can hear it and see it again.
Okay, one more time.
You're probably not finding love because you're the problem, and God is protecting other people from you.
See, this goes back to sort of what we were just saying about people hating. You carry some kind of, when you hear that, I gotta let y'all hear it one more time.
You're probably not finding love because you're the problem, and God is protecting other people from you.
Okay, for all the single people out there, that he's pretty much talking to the single people, and I would say even some of the people who aren't single,
you could still be.
That's applied across the board.
Because if you're in a relationship, you could still be in a relationship without love. You just hold on to a relationship. However,
as he said, is maybe you're the problem. Basically, so many people say, "Oh, I've been single for all these." Well, not us. They said they've been single for 30 years. They not gonna ever get married. And this men and women say that. So they said, we just I can't find the right one. It's like, well, first of all, maybe you
God's still trying to work you out,
work out your issues. Now, mind you, we've been rolling for 30 years. This as of May, right after her birthday, 30 years. We met 30 years ago. I was a hot mess. and I got kicked to the curb a couple times. However, I had to get some stuff right in me. Actually, I didn't get myself right till after years after we got married, just to be real. But it took she still stood by me because she saw potential in me. And that potential developed.
And I think that's it, though, because I see the potential in him, but it was hard for him to see that because he was still holding on to past hurts
or a lot of hurts.
But when I was trying to bring that out of him, he took it right, and that was the thing, and he couldn't see it, and so I put a lot into trying to put it like now. This is early, and again, this is early on, and it wasn't until years after, until he really, and that's an awakening for anybody. I just had my own little spiritual awakening just recently, just a few years ago. But however, I think that was the thing, and even though I loved him, he loved me. It was still things that people it's just like, honey. But it was like, it was going over his head, and he was still wanted to hold on to the anger, and it was almost like a pushback, trying to think is something against her. So you got to understand, whenever in communication, when you're married, that's a key, communicating between one another. And when you're discussing things that's going on, it's not that we're trying to fault anybody or down anybody, but we're just trying to say, hey, this is what I see. How can we fix this to make me feeling like I'm wanted in this marriage, or thinking you feel like you are wanted in this marriage? So that's something that, we're not here trying to down anybody, or, as a married couple, you're not trying to down one or the other spouses. You're just trying to open up a discussion where, hey, communication is key.
Yeah.
And if that person's not listening, then that's how things start to unravel in your marriage. That's the reason why people go to counseling, marriage counseling, because that's the problem. Because if you're not going to listen to that person, well, if they got a marriage counselor that you can listen to, then this discussion could be a little bit more open.
Well, my thing is, I didn't wake up till we had our child. I'm going to be real. That really woke me up once she was born. So I really didn't wake up till 21 years ago. Honestly, start maturing until I was like, that's 33. I didn't start maturing till I was 33. And I watched a lot of young people who weren't parents. And then when they became parents, I look at, because by that time, some of the people I met, these young people who became parents, we already been parents for like maybe 10, we had some years under our belts. And I said, one thing's going to happen. Once you have that child, you're going to change. I have a nephew who just had a child. He's starting to change because you're now like, okay, wait a minute. I had to become more responsible. Now, he's not married, of course, at this time. However, I can see him starting to mature because now he's a father. And it does change you because now you're like, okay, I have to be an example to this child. A good father. There's some fathers who are just a father in name only because Father's Day is coming. So I'm going to say this real quick. There are some fathers who are fathers in name only. They have not matured. But for those us fathers who were kind of out there, kind of like not mature, it took me becoming a dad to mature. Also, becoming a husband started the maturity. However, becoming a dad became, okay, this is real. This is real. Now I have to be an example to my wife, but I also have to be an example to my daughter. So I can't just be, doing certain things. Now, there's some things that's happening here lately with me doing a lot of other stuff. And I told her today, I said, look, I'm trying to reclaim my time. For those who don't know, I program 3 TV stations. So every Sunday, I'm in front of a computer screen. And then I got an idea, I would say it's a God idea, how to take care of this problem and get my time back. And thank you, Jesus, I'm getting my time back. I'm setting everything up to reclaim my time. I
would say, though, he actually was, because my work schedule at the time, it wasn't flexible. So I didn't have I had a set schedule, but it was either I work in the morning, mid shift, or night shift. So the timing. So he really did help a lot, especially during the summer when she was out of school, because she, his job was open enough where he was able to take her to work with him. Mm-hmm. And I had to I packed the little lunches together. And I was doing all that, making sure, because look, I'm still mama. So I still got to make sure my baby eating, because I know how, well, the job was. And even afterwards, sometimes that's the balance. You got to figure out how to balance work and home. And your job has to come up with some type of solution where you can't work 16, 17 hours a day and expect the person to still have a stable relationship at home, a stable household at home. And I think that at that point of time too was very hard. And so I'm not going to put everything on him, but however, I think that's a lot of things too. Sometimes people will, if they think, well, I'm paying you. So I think a lot of people feel, they have this thing. Right, of you. And so, but yeah, I get it. I mean, I had to punch that clock too. But however, I did dictate more about, look, when my job wanted us to work Saturdays to compensate for our workload, I said, look, if I got to work a weekend, let me do Sunday. So that way Saturday, I have church. And they were like, but they wanted Saturday. I said, hey, there's 2 weekends. So if you need for me to work weekend, I'll do a Sunday, but I can't do Saturday. Mm-hmm. So that's one of those things where they had the ability
where you're able to do that. And also for those of us who are contractors or self-employed, one of the things I didn't wake up until our child turned 20. It's like, wow, we really didn't take her. She doesn't really know her family in the South. So now here she is, 21. And it's like, wow, she really doesn't know her family. So I had to do something about that, get her down south so she can meet her cousins. She knows them, but she's never been to the family land. She's never walked the property of my grandmother's, and she's never walked the property of my grandfather. So my grandma heard the land that her father had is still there. It's a lot of acreage. And so, I mean, I'm trying to get to where I can walk it because there's a nice little creek back there. So she's never been down there. She's never seen the family land. So I want to get her down there so she can see them. So we're working on that. My cousin actually wants to come too. She said, well, let her know she may come on down. However, that is one of the things I had to learn was to start. And now that, our child is basically grown, I say, you know what? I got to reclaim my time. Why am I hustling myself? Why am I burning myself out? Why am I making this hair grayer? I'm trying to get it ungray. Why am I doing all this? Running a internet TV station / over the air, 3 of them. I have to make this easier because she can tell you Sundays, I get up and I'm in front of the computer screen all the way until 8:00 at night. And usually I get BTVs done at 3. Then I jump on Covenant Daughters, run through hers real quick, and I really don't finish hers till Monday. Cashmere is once a month, and I have to do it at the end of the month, and it's done for the whole month. However, BTV and Covenant Daughters, it's a lot of time programming a TV station. So people say, oh, I want an internet TV station. It takes time for your family. So you have to find tools and methods to get that time back. And I'm thinking, God, now I can just... by the end of this week, I'll be able to just move stuff into a folder and I'm done. And because I actually had to program WLPC, an over-the-air station. I had to make sure content was there.
Okay.
So I'm a busy guy. So what I learned is take time. I have to reclaim my time. And that's one of the big things I'm talking about.
I think we kind of went off topic about the things you make your own, that whole thing about the reason why you're... What was it again? Run that again, clip again.
Well, I'm about to run him again.
Let's run one more time. It would kind of just weaved into something.
Commentary, because it's really not a long conversation, because I could run the whole clip where the guy says sensational, but he made a point.
You're probably not finding love because you're the problem, and God is protecting other people from you.
So basically, and our thing is,
right. God is protecting
you from from
other people.
From other people.
So it's like you're still blinded. You still got your blinders on, and you're not realizing that there's somebody out there for you, but God's still holding you back. Because I think my sisters married young. They both were 18, 19 years, I think either 18 or 19 years old when they got married. So they married young. I didn't get married until 26. So that was 8 years. And I don't think it was, it was kind of funny because he was supposed to have been at the same church, but I said, man, I didn't pray hard enough. But I think it's because I still had things I had to deal with in my own life and situation. And so it was like when he did finally show up, it was like, it was it. I mean, that was the time, that was the space that God gave me, because he said, okay, Angela, it is your time now. And from that point on, and so I'm the jewel. He's the one, I won't say luck out, but he was the one who was blessed. I'm the jewel. So, and I think sometimes, it was still one of those things where we already discussed the fact that he was a hot mess. And so he had to remember, he who finds a wife, so, and I was the jewel that he found, the rare jewel. And so, and it was like I was the coal before the jewel. So, but anyway, it all worked out.
Right.
I stuck and stayed.
Yeah, because it's 29 years ago when I walked in that room. Now it used to be the den, now it's our bedroom. And I heard a clear voice say, "That's your wife." I was like, now that's the first time I ever heard. I had just got saved not too long after that, and I heard, "That's your wife." I'm like, okay, did I hear that?
Yeah.
And this was my bedroom. I didn't hear it up here in what used to be my bedroom. I heard it when I was downstairs. She was downstairs sitting on the couch. My grandfather was he's sitting on his chair. We were watching the TV. I walk in, "That's your wife." I'm like, huh? Oh, okay. Let's make this happen then.
And we proposed in December. He wanted to get married. He wanted to get married right away. So he was talking about July. I'm like,
I don't want to burn.
He was like, I said, no, you ain't ready for that. And so that's the reason why we waited until almost a year later, technically, to September.
September. It was
almost
9 months.
Yes, 9 months
later, which is fine. You don't have to get married the day after you get engaged. Just
right. This is not the Little House of the Prairie. This is not something where you just go. Right.
I only know a couple of couples I know one couple, and we're gonna move on to our next topic. She met a man at a club on a Saturday, and they got married that next Saturday. I'm not sure if they're still together. However, when I stopped working,
it doesn't technically. If you know this person is for you, it really doesn't take much time to say it. Now, the thing is where if you're rushing it and you're someone, I need to get married right now, then why? What's going on?
Yeah,
why do you feel like you have to get married right now? And why do you feel like you have to go? I think Ohio doesn't have a waiting period that you don't want to. Because
I'm married. I'm like,
because Ohio
last week.
That's what people used to do. They used to jump over to Ohio to get married because they didn't have that waiting period. Here in Michigan, I think you had to have 72 hours.
I don't know. We had to do a blood test, AIDS awareness.
Right. And they don't do that anymore. But yeah, there was a point where I know I was clean. He was clean. But the way they were talking, you leave out there like you was wondering.
Are we sure we want to get married?
Right. Or you're like, maybe I do need to take a test. Even though it was nothing there, but still.
They made it hard.
Right. So I'm quite sure.
Tough.
Right.
I don't know if they do that because we've only been married once and we don't plan on recycling it. And by the way, I want to say hello to everybody. We got my cousin Art Jones who joined us, and we had Dr. Grace Patterson, MD. She's on with us.
Thank you.
So we thank you for joining us. Anyway, let's do this one more time. I want to do this clip one more time for y'all, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic.
Let us know what you think.
You're probably not finding love because you're the problem. And God is protecting other people from you.
So that's a topic the hot topic, and he made so much sense.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I found that. So let us know what you think about that as we move on to our next topic here. And this is one that's, as a person who watches comic book movies, it's a particular YouTuber who constantly, and a few of them that constantly dogs the MCU. They call it the MCU. And I'm up here as a viewer, I got messed up because I was like following this one guy. I stopped following him. I really don't listen to him because he has said a particular movie has certain things in it. And I actually said, okay, I'm going to have to go watch this movie. It has this stuff in it. And I want to see it for myself. I saw the movie and went, dude.
I mean,
because it's woman led, you assume that it's that. Yes, I watched the movie again. I said, I see how you got that idea. But to me, it's like, whatever. But this came because we watched, was it The Marvels? Or which one did we watch?
It was The Marvels, wasn't it?
Yeah, The Marvels.
That was the next woman-led
show. And it was actually really good.
Outside of Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow was good. That's a one technically she had an
that was a whole thing.
But
that was a whole thing.
Captain Marvel, I'm just gonna say it was Captain Marvel. When the first one came out, they dogged it. But at the same time, you dogged it from the MCU perspective, but you didn't say nothing about Wonder Woman.
Well, because Wonder Woman was Wonder Woman,
right?
And I think it was about because Samuel L. Jackson was in the Marvel, but people expect Samuel L. Jackson to take the lead.
Why?
But if it was right, but if it was, well, he's the one. But however, he's the one who discovered. I don't know. So I think if Samuel L. Jackson wasn't in it, then I think people would have been okay watching the Marvel, just like Wonder Woman. It is what it was. It's Wonder Woman,
Captain Marvel,
Superwoman, Supergirl, or whatever.
I mean, I grew up watching movies. For those, I'm from a single parent mother household. So I don't have that gender bias. Now, I believe that some of these men who carry that gender bias towards women-led films may have had a father who had gender bias towards women. That's going back to our first, I should play that clip again. But that I think it goes back to the fact that they had a father who that kept women under his feet. And they thought that the woman is supposed to be barefoot and pregnant, and the woman had no opinion other than his opinion. And I think if you grow up in that environment, I believe that's why some of these men who call it the MCU do that, is because they were brought up in an environment where they saw their fathers being anti-female. And it's like, well, why are you anti-woman? You married a woman, you had a child, and you're raising your son with that same, I'm going to say the word, misogynistic viewpoint. And to me, it doesn't make sense. It's just like a young woman raised up by her mother. She has a misandrist mindset, which is an anti-male mindset. So I have no problem with any of these movies, such as Captain Marvel. She's got something to say. The Marvels, Black Widow, Wonder Woman, and name any. And I haven't seen The Woman King yet.
Black Panther. That's when everybody.
They were mad on that. It's like, okay, in Black Panther,
it's just
Shuri was supposed to become the Black Panther. It just happened early because Chadwick passed. So she was supposed to become the next Black Panther, based on comic book. On the comic book series. I think
it was based on a lot of what's going on in social media these days and what's going on really in the world today, where we've been fighting against women stuff, especially Black women stuff, DEI and all that stuff. So people was getting a little too tired of that. So when you started throwing all this other stuff in there, it was a lot of those things where was reason why a lot of people really wasn't it. And sometimes, you talk about these commentators and these things, they just fall in the narrative where they're trying to get hits and likes. So like I was watching these podcasts where they talk about other pastors and what they're doing in their church. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. If you don't like it, just don't go there, right. We don't need for you to tell us why you think it's wrong. And so if God led us there, let God lead us there. If He didn't, we're not gonna go there.
And they don't even know what a tithe. They get mad when they say give us tithes. Wow, whoa.
So I was starting listening to them. I'm like, wait a minute, why am I listening to this?
Don't feed
I was like, so then to a point where I'm not gonna sit here and try to down him. I was like, he's just doing a illustrated sermon. And so, but however, that's what you're going to look at too. People are just following the narrative, what's going on, whoever, so they can get likes and video looks and likes. And because every time you turn them on, he's always talking about that one pastor. I mean, that's your bread and butter, you know?
Right.
So, and he probably don't mind because he's getting people to watch him. So, you know.
Well, it's just like something I heard today because I had to cover for somebody at a ministry for streaming today. And this one scripture he sort of talked about is 1 Corinthians 15. I had a screenshot it in 33. And basically, do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. So when you're watching these social media people saying this kind of stuff,
did you make it go?
Remember 1 Corinthians 15 and 33. Now, I'm going a little biblical there because I've made a declaration that I'm not going to wait till next year. It's been on my heart heavy to start. That's the reason why I reclaim my time. Get back into reading the Bible. I have a Bible downstairs on the bookshelf, the children's Bible. I read that Bible twice when I was a child. So I'm getting ready to get back into that. But again, it says, do not be deceived by, do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. And that's on any of these things. So that's why be careful. That's the reason why I had to stop watching this one person. Because his viewpoint did not line up to it was affecting me. Mm-hmm. And I'm the only man in this house. I'm in a house full of women. And the more he started talking, well, yeah, I finally got a guy cat, but at the time it was even the cat was a girl. Now it's just me and him, and he don't really care much for me because he think he the king. But anyway, I had to look at things as a father when he was talking about that. I say, well, so what you're telling me is my daughter is not allowed to have any representation of women in movies. And then you're going to always say, well, they're bringing this lifestyle out. Okay, well, if you're looking for it, you're going to find it. Yeah, there's some things that happen in the one Marvel movie. What's her name? The girl who became was that one?
Thor.
Not Thor, the other Marvel movie series that was on Disney Plus with the girl Marvel. She was Marvel, young girl Marvel. There's a certain flag she was wearing. People may get offended by that. However, guess what? She's wearing a pin. Okay, whatever. I mean, it is what it is, people. We really can't sit up here and judge people. And my thing
I think sometimes you find yourself, this is pop culture. So you find yourself a certain people, a certain culture, and you want to keep that to you. And they want it to be where the narrative still being with you in that realm. So people don't like people coming in, coming into their little space and changing it. So a lot of people, so they want to keep their space to themselves, their space to themselves. So that's another thing. So that's the reason why. And again, my thing is a lot of these little commentative YouTube, what do they say? Videos killed the radio show.
Yeah, no, video killed the radio.
So YouTube has really changed. You know, people are starting to say their own narrative in order to put in what they feel that's going to get hits and likes. Because I have, speaking of which, women-led movies, I do have a YouTube channel. I do drama reviews on Asian dramas. And so I love Asian dramas. I've always been loving. I watched them for years. I just started now. I said, you know what? I'm going to do a podcast on Asian dramas and what I think of these Asian dramas. And I noticed recently a lot of the Asian dramas I've been watching was female-led. They used to have it where they used to have it was always that same pattern that they used to have where the contractual marriage, they had the rich CEO. So they had the rich CEO and the poor girl who, now I always say this is about faith too, because they used to be the rich CEO. You had the poor girl who was pretty much doing odds and ends, doing anything to get money to save something, either a family business or save the family from downfall or saving family. And when it's down to the last wire, the last time, here come the CEO swooping in and organizing this whole contractual marriage thing where I'll give you so much money if you agree to marry me in order for his own narrative. But however, that's how they work. Now they're coming in where now the women are leading the shows, are becoming the CEOs of these shows, or they're or there's some form of something that there are really businesses. So a lot of things changing nowadays where they are focusing a lot on these women-led shows now.
Because the thing is, people assume women can't be the CEO. I mean, it's all about what they give us, what they tell it. What we are today we are a product of our media. We're no longer a product of our family structure, environment. We can say we're a product of the environment. No, we're a product of social media.
Right.
We're a product of television, because you can raise a child up 100% with all the proper morals, everything correctly. However, the media, social media will come in and say, well, you really don't have to do that. There's a particular so-called influencer who was telling people, oh, well, you can just don't tell your parents. You can meet me on my Patreon account and we can have private discussions. I hold up. Back in our day, that was called stranger danger. Today, it's like, oh, well, he's okay. He's just talking to us. But back in the day, we as parents would have these discussions. And so we are a product of that. So I have no problem with women-led movies, because women have to have an example. Now, sometimes I've seen some women-led movies in the early days, like, okay, you know what, girl, you acting too mannish for me. It's like, okay, so calm it down. Bim it up a little bit. You don't have to be that hard.
Well, I think that's that new one that Jennifer Lopez and Sterling K. Brown, they have a little tussle going. Well, I mean, it's not they're not tussling, but he throws in those sly remarks at her, and so that's been. And I just by looking at the preview, you kind of understand, like, okay, so this is basically coming in as like I'm the lead here. Like off screen, I'm the lead here, not you type of thing. She comes, and then even on screen, she comes in there as the boss, and so it was. I haven't watched it yet, so
we have to check that one out. So I know one of the goals that I have, as writers, because she's a writer, she writes more than me, and for me, if I get a script idea, that script may take like 5 years to write. Well, we're going to unconfess that. Now my script's going to take a little bit quicker. And I usually have a stronger male character, and so I'll always pass the script to her, and she'll balance it out. Same with her. Her female characters are written really well. But some of the male ones are, because Hosanna, the man, was written pretty well. So I'll come in and, the one movie I said she had wrote 20-something plus years ago, I went back to her and said, yeah, we got to man these men up. They're a little bit, they're not man enough on how we as men converse. So I went through and I think I took it from 70 pages to 100 and something pages, because I had to bring the man out. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, these men got to be men. They can't be, like kind of different, but the women in her stories are off the chain. I like the women, because Susanna was the girl.
Well, I am, as we were talking about that too, I am finishing up on a script, and hopefully by July, if you guys push it, if you guys let me know.
And we're going to go to open topics. We don't have to use all that time.
Hopefully by July, we would have that ready. It's actually not a female. Well, it's 50-50, I think. Female and male lead show. So
yeah, most of your stories are 50-50. Some of them are open discussion.
Right. So and rom-coms used to be, that's pretty much what rom-coms is. The knight coming in, saving the damsel in distress. So that's pretty much, or the Cinderella story.
Well, so, that because they already said Cinderella was too weak, and when they redid it, she said it's not the regular. And that's how you tank a movie, having your stars talk too much. But anyway, go on.
Okay. I don't even remember what I was saying. No, I'm just kidding. So hopefully by July, it's really going to be straightforward. I don't even expect it. It's expected to be like a full, hopefully it might be 90 minutes, who knows? But however, I will be starting that up, and hopefully if you're watching and you want to be part of our next movie, let us know.
And then I'm going to be meeting with some prayerfully this week, get some time and meet with someone about our older script, getting that moved forward. There's this thing that I have now. I tell people I'm at that age where if I feel you're stagnating the vision God has given us, it's time to move. You're either going to be with us or I'm going to just move forward without you. So I'm looking to meet with people now to get these projects out. The one we're doing, the one she's talking about is one we're doing ourselves. We're eventually will tell you the name of our actual real production companies that handles this. We got some more things to deal with getting that all set up. But this is actually, Garrison House Podcast is actually under another production company. For those who know, we had GNF Productions and we had this other company. So GNF has another movie going in production. And then our new company that we have together is producing another movie. So GNF will be doing one and our company will be doing another. So we still have both entities going. And but yeah, we're moving forward because it's time to, one of the things I'm learning just here recently, stop letting people hold you back. That's where I'm at. And like I said, if I feel I'm being held back, I'm going to move forward. Just like us doing this show. We just did it. It was like, look, okay, honey, we're November of last year. I came back from a flight from Philadelphia and I heard clear as day on the airplane, you got to do a podcast. Like, huh? Okay. Called her up. Okay, we're doing a podcast next week. It's going to be twice a month. And then all the doors started to open for us. And we do this really to talk about some of the stuff that we talk about every once in a while.
It was kind of funny because he was like, when he actually was time for us to do it, he said, do you really want to do this? I was like, honey, you already posted it. I'm like, okay, here we are. and we have fun with it. You know, like, even though people say, well, do you do it on the road? Yeah, we did one on the road. During our week, we did our first road one was we were in Powder Springs, Georgia, and we were unplugged. We did an unplugged edition. So even if I had to go on vacation, it's called pre-record. And you know, when the internet's working great, you see it's moving fluidly. So it's pre-record, and then it's this feature called Restream, where you schedule it, it'll restream it and post it at a later date. So, you know, it's just stepping out and doing stuff and not letting anyone hold you back. And that's where I'm at in life now. Just moving forward, because I've always had a vision. There's two visions on my vision board that I had. I'm operating in one. The next one is film. That's a second vision. These are things that I've been wanting to do since I was little. So moving into the television, the broadcasting vision, that was the official television launch was on COVID when we became over the air, but it took me running BTV for some years before it actually went over the air. And so now I'm operating in that vision. Now I'm going to move into the next vision, which is film. So we're operating in that. And like I said, this has been my vision since I was like 7 or 8 to go into all aspects of broadcasting and entertainment. And so it took some time. Took some years. I'm not going to say how many years. It's a lot of people.
It took some years.
There's a lot of people, visions come forth in the late age of their life. Yeah, we would want it to happen 20, 30 years ago. I
would love it to happen 20 years ago, but we weren't ready.
Right. We weren't ready. And I actually had a lot of ideas, but there was nothing available to put it forth.
Like digital signs that we see out there that you talked about way before they came. She had an idea for digital billboards 30 years ago. 28. We were married. So we were about 29 years ago, she had an idea for digital billboards. We did not have we didn't know how to do it.
There was no technology.
And then all of a sudden, now you see digital boards everywhere. She had that vision years ago before it happened. Yeah, YouTube. In fact, we started the process. Ours was called Tube Vision. We built the logo and everything for Tube Vision because we're like, okay, we can start our own. And but then all of a sudden YouTube was just coming out, and we had an idea for Tube Vision because we didn't want to be like YouTube, so we called it Tube Vision.
I don't even think YouTube was even.
No, it was there.
I don't know.
No, you actually had the idea, but YouTube had just launched around that same time.
We were saying, well, that we were talking about online TV because at the time I said, well, he wants his own television station, so I said, well, why don't we have our own online TV station or something, and we can call it. That's the reason why we were calling it.
And then what happened?
Maybe we should bring that back up.
Well, we should. Well, no, we got Cashmere, we got BTV. Right. Come on, We have a version 2 vision. I'm part of 2 companies that, so just let us know. We got a couple of them that we work with. This is hosted by Above the Cloud, so you can come on over there. We have another one we work with. So, but Above the Cloud has that kind of concept already going. And then we had, as a result, even though at the time we had the idea, we ended up launching Raymer Arts Internet Radio. And we did that until we had a power outage and took the radio station off the air. And then we launched Raymer Arts Television, which was using older technology, had to fight with hosting providers. And later, Raymer Arts became Beacon. So everything started with Raymer Arts Internet Radio, Raymer Arts Television, or Raymer Arts Network. Then it became Beacon 333 Networks. And then Beacon 333 Networks launched into BTV and then into Kashmir. So that's the whole thing. And I think that's all over 20 years. It was right after my mom passed away. So yeah, my mom passed away 20 years ago. So this happened. It took 20 years for all this to go from that to where we're at today. So Raymer Arts started actually 19 years ago and it just progressed. And now we have where we're at today. And we have Garrison House podcast with our own little studio and loving every bit of it and getting things set up in the house.
You got to move fast. I was told him, I said, if it's your time, now God will make sure things will happen. When I started to try to do my own thing, I do have when I started Inside the Pink Box, and I was trying to edit it myself. I couldn't. I mean, no matter how I was, it just didn't work out for me. And so when I started my podcast, and if you go, I do little cooking shows. If you ever saw me reposting what a crock, I've been doing that, and I've been doing my own editing, and it fell into place. And, even though sometimes I do have my master editor sensei. I tell you, I'm blessed to have my own editor. And if you watch the video I just did, if you go to my channel, you see a video where I had to call him because I had an error. Yeah. So I had to call the master editor. He comes in home. I'm like, Master Editor Sensei, so he had to fix it. He fixed it. He knew what to do. So I was blessed with that. But however, I always say if it's your timing, things are going to start lining up. If it's a struggle, then it's not the time.
Right. Right.
And it was timing, and everything starts to fall into place. The drama room, what a crock. I wanted to start, people are doing all these parody cooking shows. I'm like, people don't need this. These women or men. Okay. I know I don't want to pin nobody down here. However, y'all need to know how to cook. For your family, you need something. So I don't do like a full recipe and stuff like that. I'll just, do my little thing and show how you make a quick meal with what you got.
Well, my dad told me, son, you need to know how to cook.
Right.
And knowing that, and my mom said, I'm going to work. You're going to babysit your sister. So you know how to cook. Mm-hmm. But as a result, I found out later that a lot of the men on my dad's side are cooks. Some of y'all who live in Detroit may have had some of the food prepared by some of my family members because the men cook in the family.
Right. And also want to say is, I was wondering if he was trying to figure out if he wanted to buy a switcher, and he was, is it timing? And I said, my thing is, if it happens, God already has that plan for us to happen.
Right.
If it did not happen, then that means this wasn't God's plan for us to go this route. So if it's timing to get a switcher, then God will open a door where that timing will get his switcher. I needed a new laptop. I mean, I didn't want to. It was expensive because all this stuff I'm doing now. I needed a new laptop.
She needs something more power.
Right, and he was like, well, we could do it this route. I said, well, I don't know, because I was like, well, I don't know if I want to go this route, but a door opened, and where it worked out. So if it wasn't supposed to be in that route, then that door would close.
Right.
So it doesn't matter. God knows the plan that I have for you, and that does not just mean in general, where it's more beyond than just your life choices. It's about also putting things in front of you that will help you with your life choices. And if it's in front of you, that means that God had that plan for you all along.
Yeah, going on that, piggybacking on that, it's just like I said earlier about me reclaiming my time. For those who don't know, I like writing computer code as a hobby. Now, I know my primary language, geeking out right now, is Visual Basic.net, which is basic. I dabble in C#. Now, this program was written by somebody else. The original base was written by somebody else, but over the years, I built it up to make it my own work. So technically now about 75% of the work on there is mine. And it was just something that was heavy on me. Like, you need to have the computer do this. Now, there's another software package out there. I say, okay, yeah, that program does that. But when I thought about it, I could never get it to work. And then all of a sudden here, it hit like 3 weeks ago, how to do it. It came. And then God, basically, I'm going to say God showed me, say, okay, now start applying it. I said, well, I got to turn on this test computer. And it got to last week, I had finished it and started testing it on the air. Usually I don't test on the air. So I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and step out here and test it on the air. And it tested it for a week. And now I'm officially certifying it as green lit, ready to go. And guess what? As I said in the beginning of our podcast, I'm getting my time back, y'all. I'm getting time back that I have not had in 10 years. I'm getting my time back. So sometimes it's about timing.
As I was saying, it's always about
time.
You have to distinguish. Can you hear my mic?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, because I think it sounds like I'm just hearing myself in my own.
Oh, no, I hear you loud and clear.
All right. That's what I was trying to figure out how to turn my volume up there.
Turn you up.
Okay, thanks. I got nails, y'all. I got my nails done. So it's like I'm trying, and I got my contacts. So sometimes it's kind of like, what am I listening to? Okay. Yeah, but it still sounds like I can still, that's fine.
Okay.
If you can hear me, I'm good.
I hear you.
All right. So there we go. I just couldn't hear myself, so I had to turn my. It's kind of late now because everything is out, but I forgot what I was going to say now. I'm sorry, guys. Timing. Yeah. I'm sorry, I did forget what I was.
Well, you forgot. It's just like even coming upstairs. We spent more time upstairs here. We've been in this house for 4 years. Three.
Well, the year after COVID.
Yeah.
So it's going on 4 years.
Going on 4 years. We spent more time upstairs this year than we've had since we've been in here.
Yeah.
I mean, we have not. We used to then come upstairs. The upstairs was like another world. It was like, oh, we're going to go upstairs. I think at one point I came upstairs once a year. And that's just to check on stuff.
If everything will fall into place, because when we started the podcast, we said we were starting downstairs in our office space. And so I was like, you know what? We said, well, we need to start doing the studio. And so I was like, I took a weekend. I came up on here a weekend, started throwing stuff away that we didn't. My daughter used to have this space. And so she haven't been up here since 3 years prior to her. And she never been up here after that. Her friends came. And came in here. If you guys saw that video, why it's black, because my daughter wanted to paint the room black. I don't know why. That's kids for you, teenagers for you. Right. But yeah, so that's the reason why it was patchy like that. So anyway, so she but I think because of the flooring, I don't blame her. So she stopped. She was here for a few months, and after that, she hasn't came back up here. And so I was like, you know what? It's time for us to move out of our little space there and finish coming upstairs. So I started taking things down, started throwing things away. I came up here throwing stuff away and everything. And then that's when our first time we started, we came back up. We still didn't have the floor down. However, I'm like, look, we're going to come up here and start this because I'm not going to be downstairs. We want this is a whole new day. You know, we already applied it. And if we didn't push ourselves or try to do it, we would probably
still be downstairs like this.
Because you got to realize it's not just my desk. It's not just a desk. It's his equipment and his TV station, his monitors, everything's down there. So it's not. It was tight.
Very tight. And we have another project we're going to finish too, which is the project of moving all that stuff to the IT room.
Right.
That project's been going on for 2 years.
Right. Well, it started it. So all we got to do is put it on. But yeah,
down there, get the wiring up here. But I got new ways of wiring. I was gonna run all these cables upstairs, and then I seen how to do it. Oh, you mean tell me I'm trying to run 7 cables up here, and I can just do it basically with 2 or 3? Yeah, I'm glad I waited because I was going to have an electrician come in here. We're going to run all these cables upstairs, and so I can have all the monitors. I say, you know what? I can have everything downstairs and send one cable up with what's going on downstairs. I can remote into every computer downstairs. So we're moving all that stuff. All the family who's been here, they can tell you, yeah, it's like looks like mission control. So we're moving it. It's hot down there. The server's on right now. It's hot. And that stuff has to get into the basement. And as I stated in our Streaming Maniacs podcast, dust from carpet is bad for computers. So if you want to hear those tips on how to keep your computer going, I'm going to invite you to go to the Streaming Maniacs podcast and take a look at that. From Friday, we gave a lot of great tips on how to maintain your computer as we're getting ready to close. But you have to step out.
We were talking about that. We were supposed to have talked about that. I guess we had to wait to the next podcast.
What's about the Stream Maniacs?
The streaming churches.
Streaming church. Yeah, we're going to say that because I want to build up on that because we're going to talk about, and we can put this on our topic board for our next topic. Is going to be church streaming. The new outreach of ministry,
right.
Streaming ministries. How important I believe streaming because I actually work part of a streaming ministry. The company I work with, the companies I work with that I'm part of, work with ministries. So I believe streaming ministries is very important. I believe that even though we're not a ministry, but we're having fun. We are faith-based, by the way. However, because we do streaming, all the stuff I do out of this house is streaming. Got faith-based streaming. So if you turn on CashmereTV.com, Beacon333TV.com. Cashmere may be a little different, but at the end of the day, I still have a trivia that comes up with faith. Because some try to come in, oh, you really don't need to have faith Q&A trivia. It's like, no, I'm keeping that faith because sometimes you get these little thoughts. Oh, man, but Cashmere is not really supposed to be 100% faith. I say, no, I'm going to keep the faith-based trivia going up because it's nice and it's fun. And so we're going to go on ahead. And,
so we are going to talk about that next topic.
Talk about that next
we were supposed to talk about it. I just forgot about it. But now I remember. So maybe our next.
We'll put it in our notes because we can discuss a little bit more, and I can probably get some examples and probably bring in some of the pastors. Maybe I can talk to one of the pastors and have him do a role in how important streaming ministry is because I know a pastor, a friend of mine who's in Beaumont, Texas. And he told me, he said, I'm not doing in-person Bible classes anymore. He's doing it all online because, first of all, he's one of many pastors who said after COVID, why do we need to do this in-person stuff? You say, okay, we may do a corporate prayer in person. However, like Bible classes, these special services, we're going to just do that streaming. Apostle Fritz Munzer out of Georgia also he's got a Bible class. He went online only. So you're seeing a lot of ministries starting to utilize online. We may need to talk about AI too.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, so we'll do that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hit my favorite little button here. Should I hit it?
Hit it.
I'm hitting it. So
it's
somewhere on here. It's a countdown. It's supposed to be counting us out. Oh, there it is. All right, folks, we are out of time. I'm Darnell.
I'm Angela.
And thank you for watching Garrison House. See ya. Namaste.
Namaste is okay.
It is?
Namaste,
It is? Okay.
It just means I bow to you.
Oh, okay. Well, in the last 4 seconds, I learned something new. See ya later.
I can feel it. It's for me.
Give me a clean heart, oh Lord. And if I can just shout, Lord, please have mercy on
finance a billionaire affairs. Got an image to maintain, public upper hand. But behind them closed doors, you on the last leg. The fast lane's a fast pace for the fast age. It's easy not to complain.
More than